The rise of the American male. If you guys watch and listen to this program, we have been telling you for quite some time that the subtext of the 2024 election is not black versus white. It is not the distinctions that the media cares about, which are irrelevant. Race means nothing. No, instead, it's the distinctions that actually matter, which is the future of the Democrat Party is female. The future of the Republican Party and our movement is male, is conservative. Young men of all ages, are increasingly rejecting liberalism. They are rejecting wokeism. Men in record numbers are turning away from liberalism, feeling and knowing that it threatens their identities, stifles their voices, and overlooks the struggles that men experience on a day-to-day basis. Young men are rejecting Kamala Harris and the Democrat Party because they know that if they were to elect the Democrat Party, it will continue the belittling, the demeaning, and the abolition of the Western man. You see, men are rejecting liberalism because it's become this school marm ideology, which is essentially middle-aged women going after you for saying the wrong thing or breaking some new rule they invented 10 minutes ago. Liberalism can be summarized as the ferocious enforcement of arbitrary rules against the strong, against the man, against the alpha. Liberalism has become a constant war on success and greatness. Men want to be great and achieve things. They want to go to Mars, build companies, invent things, save the world, or at least they support others who can do that. Liberalism is so painfully uncool and unfunny now. Unfunny especially, and I'll show you some examples of that. Comedy used to be left-wing, not anymore. Liberalism has turned straight men into a perpetual punching bag. They're blamed for everything. Liberalism systematically discriminates against men, even though men are the ones that are falling behind today. They're falling behind when it comes to earning income, graduating college, falling behind when it comes to the basic necessity to live and survive. Now, we talked yesterday how the Democrat Party is currently in a state of panic. Now, while they are in a state of panic, you should not celebrate. You should get more concerned and work harder and drive more votes because the panic will actually tighten the race. Panic is the life force of the modern Democrat Party. Panic is what keeps them going. Panic is how they raise more money. Panic is how they knock on more doors. The more they panic, the closer this race will be. I will say it again. The more they panic, the closer this race will be. And they decided to deploy Barack Hussein Obama to Pittsburgh yesterday. And Barack Obama, in his typical cool guy way, was talking to the brothers. Now, that's his quote that I am using. The black men that are increasingly rejecting Kamala Harris. They're seeing it in the data. Men of all racial backgrounds, of all ages, of all backgrounds want nothing to do with Kamala Harris, and for good reason. No real man can or should vote for Kamala Harris. She hates you. Her agenda will belittle you, will disempower you. And Barack Obama is seeing this in the data, and he singles out black men. Now, this is a long tape, and it's very, very important. They deployed Barack Obama, obviously on camera. They knew this was going to go viral, to talk to the brothers out there. Now, let me just give the Democrats some advice. You obviously don't know how to talk to men. This is the most femboy, effeminate, low testosterone, soy boy approach of how to talk to men. You talk to men like you do in a football locker room, direct. You challenge them. You tell them what they ought to do. You talk about duty. You talk about honor. You talk about the pursuit of greatness. He talks to them as if they are in a group therapy session with a bunch of middle-aged, drug-addicted women. They wonder why they're losing men? Well, Barack Obama's not exactly a great example of an American strong man. Now, I'm not going to make this entire show about Barack Obama, of which I'm not a fan, but just look at his body mannerisms. He's kind of just in the corner, kind of just slunched over. This is not a man that you want to have lead into combat, and certainly not a man that if he was shot would rise up and say, fight, fight, fight. Let's play cut 138 of Barack Obama doing the struggle session, the group therapy session, if you will. Play cut 138.
We have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all right here. And say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences. Who's had to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land.
Why does it feel like the black men are in trouble with the principal? It feels as if they were like called in the principal's office. Come on, guys. Let me lecture you here. Let me tell you what's wrong. Now, again, Obama won 2 presidential elections. Obviously, one of the more gifted politicians of our lifetime. But no joke. You have to live in reality with this stuff. But man, his effort to bail out the Kamala campaign is so sad. He thinks that he can just lecture black men into turning out. You can't. You don't shame and lecture men into turning out. They obviously do not understand the state that men are in of all backgrounds, black, Hispanic, and white. And they certainly don't understand how to motivate them. And he's just kind of like, I got to be honest, Obama's heart's not into this. Obama was kind of struggling on how to make the case for Kamala Harris because deep down Barack Obama knows it's a tough sell. What's the sell? Yeah, she grew up like you, y'all. And by the way, what's with this y'all thing? You're from Chicago, grew up in Hawaii. Like, wait, what is this y'all thing? You went to school in the Northeast. Like, I get it if you're talking in Georgia, but you're talking to a bunch of guy in Pittsburgh. What is this whole y'all thing? Can someone please tell me? Email me, freedom@charliekirk.com. I understand the code switching. Like, I totally get that. The Democrats do that. Kamala Harris unveiled her Hispanic accent the other day. It was really amazing, actually. What is this whole y'all thing? Obama feels like a fossil. Politics is totally different. He became a star 20 years ago. It's like a guy that was, I'm trying to think. It was like when Michael Jordan was on the Washington Wizards. And I'm not comparing Barack Obama to Michael Jordan because I don't think Obama and Michael Jordan are the same level of excellence. But it's just kind of sad. It's like not the same thing. The young voters that Democrats are losing were just toddlers when Obama was elected. And you could tell with the black men in that room, they're kind of just getting lectured and they're like, yeah, I'm not buying it. There's only like 8 of them. And they're not buying it for a very simple reason. The American male is rising and they're rejecting the kind of femme boss tyranny that we are living under. They are embracing the conservative agenda that acknowledges that they are men and that strong men are necessary for a strong society.